All right, welcome everyone to CoCreative NoCode's office hours this Monday, I believe it's August 9th already. Yes, August 9th. And we already have Jay and Calum and Thomas here, and Kim is here as usual. We're also expecting Nathan and Sander will be joining us shortly. So we've got lots to cover today. I'm excited for that. If this is your first time joining us on live on Facebook, or if you're watching the replay on Facebook or YouTube, we do office hours every day of the week, Monday through Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And our members can join us live on the Zoom, bring all of their Bubble questions, any bugs, feature requests, build along requests, any topic on Bubble is welcome. Sometimes we go off topic, but it's fun. And yeah, if you would like to join us for a complimentary session, you can go ahead and click on the live and leave a comment, and Kim will send you a link. All of our members at CoCreative NoCode's Facebook group receive a free Zoom session to come and try office hours out yourself. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Thomas. Good to see you. You're on mute.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Awesome. Well, we have already a question to cover with Nathan once he arrives. But in the meantime, I think, Calum, you were here first. Did you bring something?
I did. So I realized, so we were talking about how to do the trending thing. I decided that I'm going to do trending posts instead of trending hashtags. So trending hashtags was too difficult. Trending posts also turns out to be quite difficult as well, because the likes, dislikes, comments, and shares are actually different data type, which means you can't filter a search for posts by a separate different data type. My question is, obviously the number of, so the likes is a list of connect profiles. So it's just a list of profiles, and obviously the count is the number of likes. Is there a way to set up a field under post, which is likes as well, which is just a direct reflection of the number of users in the list in a different data type? So instead of having to like add another workflow to add one like every time someone presses the button, which would add a person to the list, but also add the number of likes plus one, or is there just a way of making it directly reflect it in the database? That well?
I think so. I think your thing is you want to determine which of your posts have the most likes, shares, and comments, and each like, share, and comment would equal to 1, right? And you add them all up, and the ones with the most in decreasing order, those are the ones that are trending, and you'll do the cutoff at some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
So yeah, you could tally that up. And so the shares are a separate data type.
Yeah. So do you want me to share my screen and show you?
Sure. Yeah. Let me stop sharing.
So the only issue is that under data type we've got post, and then I've gone to privacy rules there. For post, we've got a like, share, likes, dislikes, and shares, which is then links to a separate data type, which is created when the post is created. Problem is when you try and filter it, so I've actually already got it set up here. So when I try and filter it when it's trending, usually you do data source and then do a search for, bring that up a bit, do a search for posts. My bubble decides to behave. Bubble is not behaving. It just knows bubble not behaving. Oh, hang on, there it is. That's why. Posts. So obviously that's fine. That's going to do a search for posts, but you'd want to sort by, and obviously you can't access likes, dislikes, and shares from here. So usually what you'd want to do likes count descending, but obviously it doesn't exist here. So my question is can I create something under the type post, which is called likes, and make it a number, and then have that number just be, so can I put the default for that number, or somehow make it so that it is the exact number of the count of the number of users in the likes, in the other likes one here. So whatever.
Yeah, so I mean, you're just talking about having a counter on a post, and every time someone likes or shares or comments on it, adding 1 to the counter.
I know how to do that, as in you put the likes, and then every time someone clicks on it, it adds the person to the list of users who are in the likes. It will also add 1 to the likes data type. I was just wondering if there was a simpler way of doing it where the likes number directly reflects the count of that list.
For the purpose of sorting, I don't think so. I mean,
okay.
Yeah. So for the purpose of sorting so that you can get your trending, I think I would keep that on the post itself, and I would just tick it up every time someone likes it, shares it, or comments on it. And then I would tick it down if somebody deletes a comment or, whatever, or unlikes it, or I don't know, that maybe if they unshare it. So.
Okay, the only reason I asked because I was going to see if I could, obviously, if I add this now, then I won't be able to use any of the previous posts because they won't have this data type on them. So I was just going to see if I could make the list of connect profile likes count as that value there, but I guess I can't make it mirror it then.
Got it. Yeah, I think the simplest thing to do for your purpose is just to tick that up and tick it down and actually just keep a count. Yeah, I mean, it's not as, I would like to be able to do what you're talking about, but I don't think it's as elegant and bubble to do that. So.
No, okay. I mean, yeah, because in code it seems fairly simple, doesn't it? Because it's just likes is.
I mean, I did the tally when I did the tally for the leaderboard several months ago. Essentially what I did is what you're talking about. I added references to things in fields, and then I just counted the list, but I wasn't sorting by it. I was only.
Actually, I think there is a way to do it.
Is there?
I think well, if I go to my posts and down here where it's the likes, I've got these stored in text elements. I could just put them as in single line inputs disabled and put them as auto binding on posts like count, because that would evaluate a number, wouldn't it? Does that make sense?
Maybe it could make sense. Show me.
Well, and then you just set, you know what I mean. You just set the default to be parents groups,
right? And then when they click like, it just adds 1 and it auto binds it to their. Yep, that would work.
Yeah, so it would change the number and then it would auto bind it to the other thing. Okay, cool, that works.
The only thing because you could have multiple users like viewing it at the same time.
Yeah.
And interacting with it at the same time. I don't know if that would cause a problem or not.
To be fair, the way you've said it is probably simply just do the +1 thing, but I'm just trying to be clever.
Yeah. Well, clever, sometimes clever works out with bubble. Sometimes it doesn't. We've all had our share of things not working as elegantly as we think they should. Bubble.
We have indeed.
Awesome. Let's see, Jay, did you have something for today?
I do, but honestly, it's not interfering with my development. It's kind of whimsical. So
Okay.
if someone else wants to go first, who's got a greater need, I'm fine with that.
All right. Thomas, do you have anything?
I will share my screen.
And welcome, Sander. I saw you sneak in there.
Yeah, hello.
Good to see you as always.
Okay, once. Is this in here? So just to recap, I pretty much did the same thing we were working on last week on my app here,
Okay,
chat,
sure.
but I converted the list, the repeating group with the names, into the same reusable. And I also turned the individual group, like I made the reusable within the, the repeating group within the reusable, like you had suggested when you were talking to Juan, and it worked perfectly.
And I realized later that that was probably overkill on the reusables, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it should work. It's probably overkill because you would only need to put that group in once in the repeating group. So that looks so good.
Thank
I'm
you.
so jealous of your skills.
Yeah, thank you. I stare at a screen for a very long time.
Yeah, no, I feel you. But if I stared at it the same amount of time, it still wouldn't look like that.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you. So my problem is that it's filtering, the repeating group is filtering from left to right. When
Okay.
on your in the sandbox, I was trying to figure out how you got it, but it was filtering from right to left. And I
Right.
couldn't-
So I used the reverse repeating group from Zero Code, and I did it twice. So once on the repeating group, the horizontal repeating group, and also once in the chat repeating group.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's the actual repeating group element.
Yep.
I got it. But yeah, this was tricky getting this because I couldn't embed this list in the header because then I wouldn't be able to communicate with this reusable.
Oh, gotcha. Uh-huh.
That's why I did this.
I like it. That's really cool.
All right. So thank you.
Great work. Awesome. Sander, did you have something for us today?
Yeah, I have a question about a drag and drop tool, something like Trello. I will share my screen. One second. Yes. Can you see my screen?
I can.
Okay, perfect. So at the moment, how does it work? So these are all tasks we have to do. So it's a whole list of tasks, and now we have to click here and put a date on when we gonna plan to do it. So I can just select a date, and then here it will adjust the date. If I say I will do it on Friday, he will create a new field. They say, okay, that's on Friday. When it's done, I can check it off. But the client wants a Trello board where they can just drag and drop. I will show what I have now. This is what I have now. So the left column should be all the all the data. So what we have here. So that should be the left column, and then each other column should be the next 7 days. So it should be always the days of this week. So it can be fixed. Always Monday is the first column, Tuesday is the next column. So it can be or just a repeating group that go on for the coming 30 days. It doesn't matter. But I tried to do it, but it didn't work. So what I have already is here on the left side, the column with all the information inside. I will click on preview. Okay, so these are all things. These are already draggable, but I can drop them because I have no
Because of
idea
the
how to do
repeating
it
group
because
barrier.
yeah, and it's to another repeating group. It's not just drag and drop in one repeating group. We have to drag
Right.
and drop it through another one.
It's like
And-
Jay's problem from last week, like multiplied.
Yeah, and then there are also some other things they want, but if I can already try to achieve this, I guess they will be happy, and me too. I have no idea if it's possible in the first way.
Yeah, it's that like it's a tricky one because we've got this barrier with the repeating groups. So I was looking at Thomas and I last week, we were playing around with the plugin called Orchestra.
Okay.
There's also BDK repeating group tools or toolbox or something like that. But essentially, like you have to be able to expose the things that are in the repeating group. I just don't know if you can expose the actual like element placed on the page with those tools, if that makes sense. Like I know you can expose the content of a repeating group for workflows and for getting that, extracting that information. I just don't know if you can do it for the UI for being able to drag into it. But
Yeah.
that would be like the place that I would start is I would look at Orchestra, the plugin, and then that one's free. And then BDK's repeating group tools is like, I don't know, $4 a month or something.
But
Or
I guess
$4.
maybe we had it already. No, not here. No, but I have them already in another
You have those in another
project
app?
I did.
Yeah.
I had it already, so I can try it there. But I'm not sure if it's possible to bring it from repeating group A to drag it in repeating group B. I don't think it's gonna work, but
Yeah, I think there's yeah, that's a really tricky one. That sounds like it might need some JavaScript love in a plugin, in a custom plugin.
yeah,
And
maybe I have to look for that one as well.
What was that, Jay?
There's a how to build a Trello clone tutorial on the Bubble Academy. Did you take a look at that?
Where can I find it?
Here on the Bubble website. Here, I'll share my screen and I'll navigate to it.
I checked already the plugin on coaching no-code apps, but it didn't work. Okay.
No, it's more like in here, how to build the Trello on Bubble.
The
Just to
link
see-
is in the chat. Oh, you found it. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
But then it's also in just one repeating group, I guess, or. No, they
Yeah,
have two.
maybe that's how they do it. Maybe they don't have it separate into repeating, like into separate repeating groups. I'm not sure how they have it figured out. But yeah, this is the place to start. You can kind of look through and see what they're recommending here. But yeah, that repeating group barrier has come up at least twice in the last week. This is the third time. So. if any-
Okay, yeah. I will figure it out with this. Yeah, with this page you sent to me.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's working.
When you figure it out, please come teach us. This one's definitely tricky. I didn't get very far last week playing around with the orchestra trying to get it to work. I can ping Juan and see if he's ever dealt with it, but I don't know.
Look like Orchestra was more for getting data out of a repeating group than putting-
Same with BDK tools, right? Like the repeating group tools, it's more for getting the data out. But Orchestra at least lets you run workflows on. So
We,
the orchestra
we-
plugin. What was that?
I was just saying, you and I did that during the week. We got our orchestra working for the repeat group, my slider, remember?
Did we?
Yeah, because we could remember that really annoying plugin that was inside the group and we needed to reset the data inside it. We couldn't access
That's
it.
where
without
I
using it.
remembered it from. I was like, where do I like, I know I've done this, but I couldn't remember when I had done it. But .io plugins. Specify the target cells and it'll run inside the custom event. So
I'm in the reviews.
what was that?
The top review.
We swear. Oh, people. Okay. So orchestra might be an answer here because you can trigger workflows to run inside a repeating group cell. And essentially what you need to do is you need to put a droppable, like a drop area inside a repeating group cell. And so if you can somehow specify that cell, like when it's hovered with orchestra, you should be able to run the workflow.
The workflow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my hope. Whether or
Okay.
not that turns out to be true, like we'll have to see how your experiment goes.
I will try to fix that as well. By the way, in the meantime, I know a few months ago we talked about Wasabi plugin and database. I'm using it for the moment for another project. It's working really well. You can upload and also use it in your own database and preview it directly from the database. So that's good because it's a lot cheaper than just bubble
Storage. Do you want to
yes.
show us, or can you show us, or no?
Yes, please show us if you can.
I can show us on a dummy account. Yeah, here.
Should I stop sharing?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Nathan. Welcome. We'll be with you in just a moment.
So now I can see the whole page. Wait, go to here. So these are all brand profiles for an agency. If they click on one of them, so they go to here. I will take an empty one. So here, they have to click here on the drag and drop. They can just select the files they want. It can be one, it can be two. Let's say we just select this one. Then they say, okay, this is what you have selected. Is it correct? Then we can upload it, reset, or add more files. If you say, yeah, that's it. He reloads, and that will come to here. Here you can see on the left, yeah, it's a dark picture there. Do you have the preview? Here you have the whole link. Of course, I have to change the link through the real name, but it was just, I'm just building it at the moment. Here you have the button where you can download it. And as you can see, you will download it and you can open it. And here you can remove it. So yeah, it's working very well. So it means you can also use it yeah, just for all your content in Bubble.
Well done.
Is that preview just an image element, or is that entire box part of Wasabi?
This is just a image field, this one, and we are
Okay.
just using this link. Yeah, it's a plugin we write ourselves because the other plugin for Wasabi can do this. Or
Got
not
it.
at the moment we want it. Maybe at this moment they work on it, but when we tried to figure it out last time, it's 4 months ago, I guess. Then together with you, Tonya, we tried to figure it out and it didn't work. And then I started building it at my own, and yeah, this is the result and it's working. So
So are you putting it up for sale in the marketplace?
When I'm happy with it, I will do.
Okay. Awesome, because we need a working plugin, so that would be amazing.
As you can see, and then you can also select now it just the lemon industry, but you can create your own maps. It's really easy. Maybe I can show the actions we have in the workflows. It are a lot.
And this is thanks to Calum for the suggestion. Calum is the one who said wasabi would be cheaper.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
It's so much cheaper. I think it worked out it's about 1,000 times cheaper. Was that no 100 times cheaper than bubble storage?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
I pay like
crazy.
$6 a month for a terabyte of storage that I don't actually need. I need to stop paying for it, but
Yeah, it's so cheap. Yeah, you can do a lot for it. You can create, I don't find where, but you can create your own buckets, and then in each bucket, you can have different folders in it, and in a folder you can have another folder. So yeah, it's really, really easy.
awesome.
If
Well
you
done.
want, you can definitely create your own Google Drive or something like that for some clients or so. It's so cheap.
That's perfect because I might need that for a project actually.
Yeah,
We're
we
suffering
working-
with transferring
on.
files. So like that's the point of the app is it's the marketplace between like visual creators, so video and images like pictures, photography, but we're talking about really large files that need to be transferred to, and we're having trouble getting like an elegant solution. Part of the issue is we want the users to be able to transfer files from their Google Drive, Dropbox, and/or Box.com accounts to the storage, and then from the storage to those 3 external services. And it's proving to be quite challenging. So, but maybe Wasabi would be better. I don't know, than S3. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But, all right, Nathan. I saw one of your questions on the request page. The custom state one. Are you here, Nathan? Oh, he seems to be busy.
Could I ask a really quick question?
Sure. And then we're gonna go to Jay.
Oh yeah, it's like an insanely quick question, not a I need
Sure.
help with. If oh god no, not that. Sorry, all of that. If I filter like this, sort by, so I've got the 2 fields. If I sort by likes and dislikes, is that going to merge the 2 together and put them in a list, or is that going to do likes first and then dislikes? Is it going to show all the ones that have likes and then all the ones that have dislikes, or will it do sort by the total
So
number
I
of likes and dislikes?
think, and you can test this, I think what would happen is it's going to sort by likes first. So you'll have the one with the most likes shown, but if 2 had the same amount of likes, the one with the most dislikes would be on top of the one with the less dislikes.
Okay, so if a post has 2 dislikes and another post has 1 like, the dislikes will show up at the top.
Like if 2 posts both have 50 likes,
Yep.
and one has 50 dislikes and the other one has 49 dislikes, the one with the 50 dislikes would be on top of the one with 49 dislikes.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Or sorry, because you have this descending. Yeah, that's how that would work. If you wanted to do it the
Okay, cool.
other way around, you could do ascending dislikes. And that way it would show the more popular one that doesn't have as many dislikes on top.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Bye.
Nathan, are you there?
I am, yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Did
Sorry.
you want to go over the custom state one first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully it's just a simple question that only took me 12 hours to not figure out yesterday. So I
It happens to the best of us. I promise.
share my screen real quick.
Hashtag double life.
that like thug life? Hashtag
Bubble
bubble life.
All right, can you see that?
You can.
Okay, so it's a couple of stage search is what I'm trying to do. I'm using the plugin search and autocorrect. This portal will have a lot of assets, but I want to try to search for a keyword first and then allow the user to add a couple of different filters built in, and then I'll do one main search. So I've just been trying to play around first with the keyword. So this is the plugin. So you start typing it, and then it'll fill in the suggested matches. So that part works fine. I only have these three in here at this point. What I want the experience to be is when the user clicks one of these, so alpha, I'd like that alpha asset.alpha to pre-fill here. So then I could actually do a full search based on that whole keyword. If that makes sense.
Yep.
So that's step number one. So these are just kind of placeholders because I'm just trying to test things. So I set up a custom state on the pop-up, and it's working right. So as soon as on that click, it sets the state asset alpha. So that part worked fine.
Right.
And then I ran another test to see just to make sure what was showing in this field, and that matches up right here. So as of right now, I have the state that I want, but this text right here in this box isn't changing.
Okay.
So that's step number one, and I'll show you step number two because it's probably another stupid thing, but then it's kind of related. So what I'd like to be able to do is clear this out when I exit out of here. So I don't have this hiding, but what happens when I click here, I have some conditionals built in, so it clears this out. It clears the custom state, but the conditional that's causing this not to show up initially goes away when I clear it out, and now it shows up, and I can't for the life of me figure out how to reset this so the conditionals aren't being met as well. So that's the front end. The back end, I'll just show you where I'm at. So from a workflow standpoint, when search and autocorrect, when anything is typed in here, the results will populate here, and that part I believe is working right. So the workflow that I have is when one of these repeating group cells is clicked, I just have it simply setting a custom state on the pop-up, which I believe is also working. But what I can't figure out on this field is what do I type? How do I get the results once I click in here to go back and populate in this field? So I want to.
So in the same workflow that you set the state, reset the input.
So I'm setting the state here.
And then the next one, just try it, element actions, reset inputs. And try it and see if that works.
I don't know if I tried every possible combination I could think of, but
No,
so
it didn't do it.
Yeah, the box goes away, which is kind of the second part of it, but I'm not
Okay,
seeing.
go to the input again. Actually, you can go ahead and delete the workflow we just did because it didn't work, that action, and then go to the input. And then on the conditional on the input is not empty, pop-up searches, search results.
So when the custom state, when a custom state is entered, change the initial content to the custom state.
Right, that's what I told you to do yesterday.
Yeah.
So go to appearance.
I plugged this in here. At some point, I've tried what I think is probably every possible combination. So I tried this as well. I don't know if that doesn't seem like that should be there, but at some point I tried that as well.
How did I do it?
And then I played around with, originally in this pop-up, I didn't have a group containing the rest. I had all of this just in the pop-up, and then I added a container group.
So make the pop-up of type text.
So here's the pop-up of type of content text.
Yep. And then make the groups within it inherit that text.
Data source.
So type of content would be text and then parent groups text. Yeah.
What's the idea behind that?
Because we're gonna try to hack that search results text.
Okay.
And so now make the input, the initial input should be parent groups text.
Initial content, parent groups text.
Nope.
Okay.
Clear that out because
Nope.
that's still the,
Oh,
you have
pop-up.
to delete it. Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Parent
go.
groups text. All right. And then go to the workflow and then have a do when condition. So add a do when at the end. When an element, yeah, go ahead. We'll just try it. Well, first, let's just try it as it is. Go ahead and delete that and let's just try it as it is and see if we get made any progress. Nope.
So it sets the condition, but it's still reading.
Oh, we never told, okay, sorry. Go to the workflow and go to where when you click, it sets the state. The next, click here, display data in the pop-up.
Display data
In the pop-up and pop-up search, and the data display is that custom state text.
Search. Oh, the text or
yeah.
the custom state, which is search result.
Well, it looks, oh, you have text and you have search result. Pop-up searches, search result. Yeah, okay. And that's a text?
It is. So
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
The name of my custom state.
Okay, now try it again and see if we like progress.
Okay.
Did that work or no?
Yeah, it did.
It did. Okay, cool. And that's what you were trying to do, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me try to clear it out.
So now we need to reset everything.
Yeah, the resetting things. Yeah.
Okay. So when you click the X button, go to that workflow. So you clear out the search result. That's good.
Yeah, so I tried that. So that was a question. Can you just leave it blank? Is that essentially clearing it out?
It does. Yeah, it does.
I've tried different things, but.
And then reset data, container search.
So this is the group that has all of the fields.
Okay, and now we're also going to want to like clear. So do the set. Sorry, go to elements.
In a new step.
Yep, in a new action. Yep. So reset inputs. And then let's try reset data as well. Data, and we'll reset the pop-up. Yep. And then show me that container again. Show me the repeating group. So the repeating groups data source is search and autocorrects matches.
So that comes from the plugin.
Okay.
Which I suppose that's what would trigger, because of the conditionals.
That's what it's, yeah, that's
what
what
would trigger the
triggering.
pop-up.
So we need to clear that one out. So go back to that workflow. And then let's add another action and let's find that, go, I guess, element actions. And then search and auto correct, reset. There you go.
Oh, geez.
Okay, now we've covered all of our bases. if it doesn't clear out now, we're in trouble.
Yeah. I stared at that page probably for 8 hours and I never saw that link at the bottom. But I'm sure that's probably what. So that's working, that's filling, that's the state, that's the right language. So
there you go.
Yep, there we go.
Can I just say I'm disappointed you're using a picture of Apollo and not Starship?
Well, U.S. based Air and Space Museum. We've got our preferences.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That is a cool picture. I'll give you that.
thanks. Okay, well, Tonya, that's I don't know why I spend 10 hours doing things. I should just ask for your humbly ask for your help. In 15 minutes we can solve the same things, but one of these times I'm going to spend 10 hours and I'm going to figure it out. But
yes, yeah, well, I mean, just remember that all of that time that I spent, right,
Yeah,
doing the
right.
same thing,
Right.
That's why I made CoCreative NoCode, because I wish I had it.
Right.
So
Right. Well, those are my two fixes. I appreciate it. I want to spend some time trying to understand why we did the text thing, but now that it's set up, I can work through the process, and I'm sure that'll make sense. So I appreciate it.
awesome. Yeah, no worries.
All right. Thanks. That's all for me. I'll stop sharing.
Perfect. Okay. Jay, let me hear the whimsical stuff.
So this is an experiment. I don't
Okay.
know how it's going to go, but let me share. Give me a second to find the darn button. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so just to set up show you how it's what I had. Let me just show you this first. Can you see?
Yes.
So these are types of vegetables. So there's an eggplant, there's the image, and then this is what category it falls into. So you need to know that. I'm not, this part up here is not connected to this yet at all. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or not, but what I'm thinking is that this is a type of vegetable here, and this will be a countdown from 3 seconds, and you have to find whatever it is.
It's a game.
It's a game.
You made a game.
Trying. I'm not really a game person. I don't play any games, so I don't know if this is lame or not. So
No, I like it.
Well, it's at least it's visual. I wanted more visual stuff. So what I did so far is right now what this is set up as is these are just the cell index, so I can see what the cell index is.
Sure.
Because what I'm thinking that I'll do, like, and right now currently, this is up here. This is random. It's you know, it's this random item. So
Okay.
that, again, that's not connected to this, but what this is it's hard coded in the workflow. So that when you click on one of these, it sets a state, but this is constrained and it's hard coded as this. So that is going to have to change so it matches the random text display. Right now, I just hard coded it to see if it would work. And what happens is, so right now it's asking me to find nightshades. If you click on something that isn't a nightshade, you get, you know, obviously, but if you find one that is, it changes. So what I'm thinking that I'd like to do is have this collection of icons. First of all, every time that a person reloads the page or starts a new game, I should say, that these shouldn't all be in the same order every time. The images should be up, And what I'm thinking is that if it says find a root veg, then you find one. And if it says find a nightshade, you find one. You've got 3 seconds, but if you find it first, then of course the timer resets. And the goal, I don't know if this is stupid or not, is that you have to keep, until you get a row of them, like with bingo. So you can either get cell indexes 5, 11, 27, etc., or 6, 11, 16, whatever, etc. I have an idea about how to do that part. So I'm not really stuck. I'm just kind of playing around, but I thought we're here. Other people might enjoy
So much
this.
fun.
Ridiculous. First of all, do you think that that would be entertaining at all to try to get the bingo?
Yeah.
Or- I don't even play bingo, so I think that's how it works. All right, so then I guess my first question is how to randomize the display and how to make the constraint over here match this, which I think I can do with a custom state.
Okay, so go to the repeating group data source. So all vegetable categories and then click more
Ah,
and then sort. And then I think you can select random sorting.
oh, there you go. That was easy.
And then for the matching of the thing, okay, so this is a little bit trickier. So where are you storing? Are you storing the random items type in a custom state?
Am I sorting that? Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, so where it says nightshade right now, like when it says pick a nightshade, right? Or like find a vegetable that's a nightshade or something. Where is that being? How is that being generated and where is it being stored?
It comes from the option set type.
Okay, but show me like it. That's just the text. Like show me how you're generating that random thing on the page.
This thing up here is just generated by
All
find.
vegetables categories type random item lower case. And then how does that change? Like on a page refresh? Or like on when they click the item, is that when it changes?
Yes, no, it, how does it change? It must change when you click on one of these. Let me see, I don't remember.
Or you're supposed to click all of them.
Are you supposed to click all of them?
Like, so you're supposed to click as many of them. Oh, I guess it's the timer. The timer, when it expires, that's what's going to change it.
That could. I haven't really gotten that far. I just set it up last night, took a look at it and thought I could spend quite a bit of time on this. So yeah, at 3 seconds, this should change and then these should change. And then, but if they click on this before the 3 seconds are up, then it should change anyway. Like it doesn't have to wait for the 3 seconds to pass.
Okay, so just trying to think, where do we want to store that and how do we want to do the timer? So maybe in a hidden variable or a custom state, you want to store that random item lowercase text, and then have a how do you do like do every like 1 second, do the countdown?
Yeah, I started setting up the countdown clock, but I haven't finished it yet. Right now, I've only gotten this far. Gabby has a tutorial on countdown timers. I've used it before, so I plan to use it again, but I don't think it covers how to start at 3 seconds as opposed to how to start at the
Yeah,
end.
so you're just gonna have a custom state that starts with the number 3, and then every 1 second you're gonna subtract 1, and then when that custom state equals 0, you're gonna reset the custom state to 3 at the same time as you change the text
Okay,
for what they're looking for. And then the way you're gonna pass the information in, I don't know if you're having trouble with that part or not.
not really, I wouldn't say I'm having trouble with any of it. I
So
haven't
it looks
got,
like, yeah, because it looks like it's working, so.
well,
Yeah.
it's kind of, I mean, it's working for the way I set it up originally, which is just picking the hard-coded thing, the whatever it is, nightshade. So that's working, but that's too static.
Yeah, so we just have to, like, then you'd have to figure out the different index combinations.
Yeah, I'll have to do that and make a custom state where when the custom state includes like, 5,
The
11.
pattern that you're looking for.
Yeah, and when there's 6 in a row, then there's gonna be a group up, that displays, it says something like bingo,
Yep,
and so whatever it is, and then they've won.
that
Nothing
looks like fun.
that.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think that looks like fun.
Yeah, well, I'll work on it some more. When I get stuck, I'll bring it back. So you said, so start with the timer and use that as the basis of the logic. And then when it hits 0, other things happen.
Mhm.
Okay, that is helpful.
Yep. Awesome. Do we have anything else? Yes, Calum, I see your hand up.
Thank you. So I'm trying to work out how to do this. So I've decided instead of doing number of likes and dislikes, because as you mentioned, it will filter based on it and it's weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do an engagement score. So because I thought then comments might be interesting. So likes and dislikes, add 1 to the engagement score. If you unlike it, it'll -1 from the engagement score. If you comment, it'll add 0.5 to engagement score. Anyway, that's all very simple. Here is what I was trying to do. So I've obviously got in the data type the engagement and it's a number. Can't work out for the life of me how I change it though, because I would have thought it's parent groups, likes, dislikes, shares, post. Ooh, no, yeah, that one. And then post, because it's God, I hate bubbles sometimes. Post, and then the thing I want to change is the engagement. But it just is engagement equal. How do I
So
add 1 to it?
parent, so parent groups. So this post engagement +1.
It's incredibly annoying when you do that. It's that simple, right? Thanks, Tonya.
Is it annoying or is it wonderful?
Oh, it's a bit of both.
It's a double-edged sword. I got it.
Thank
You're welcome. Who else? What else have you got for me? I live for the riddles. Give me some bubble riddles.
So I actually have a question about something you just talked about. So I've got something similar. It's accumulated harvest. And I have 2 different expressions that both seem like they would work. And I'm not sure which one, if it makes sense to choose one over the other. I'm trying to find it because I wasn't planning on asking about it.
Well, let's see.
Okay, so I've got this way to do it. Search for how many of the, so there's accumulated harvest. That's the total like of tomatoes you've collected all season. And then there's also a unit count. That's how many you collected today. So the accumulated harvest is the total of how many you've collected up till now. So I've got create the harvest, then you put in that unit count. And then the next step is the accumulated harvest, search for what you got so far and then add. But then I thought maybe, oops, I thought maybe this might be a better way to do it in terms of performance. Because this is
Yes.
searching the database. So this is better?
Well, yeah, because the thing is search for my harvest unit count sum.
Yeah.
So show me that search. So my harvested plant. So there are multiple entries. Every day you're creating a new entry
You might be, and you might even be doing more than one a day.
of the same plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I assume that people are going to act the way people are going to act.
So if you're doing that, if they're creating a new thing in the database, sometimes multiple times a day, and they like have their unit count, then the way that you had it works better. Because
one? This
the
one?
first one, because the second one only works if you only have only one thing in the database that is like that you're like. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the second one that you have there is only if this my harvest like is the only one of that thing with those parameters in the database. But if they have more than one of those, like if they have more than one my harvest with the same plant created by the same user, then the first way you did it is the right way.
So even though they've done this like at 10 a.m. and then they've gone away and come back, I mean, everything, why would that not be this? Why would that be the same harvest just because it's within a 24-hour period? It's a new entry.
No, it is a new entry. That's what I'm saying is you have it right the way that it is. So delete the second one and don't worry about it.
Okay.
You had it right.
Good.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if it would be, again, thinking about performance and.
No, it's fine. So that do search is, yeah, unless you were going to have like a master like harvest for each plant to tally it. I
Well,
could
there
see
is.
that maybe causing like performance issues, but
Oh,
you're gonna have to do with.
master.
What was
Okay, I
that?
got you. I'm a little behind you, but when you said a master, you meant like for all the big boy tomatoes harvested around the world by all users.
No, like just per user, right? So, I mean, essentially what you're doing is you're tallying how much total they've harvested of that thing
Forever.
across their entries, right?
Yes.
So the only way to do that right now, the way that your database is set up, is the way that you have it. If you had a like a upper level, like another layer of like harvest of type plant, and it's just keeping track of all the things, then you could add to that thing, but it would be a different step in the workflow and a different thing in the database.
It seems like it doesn't need to be that.
So is this, but I mean, making the changes, this isn't a workflow, so you don't have to worry about the performance. It should be fine.
Okay. And then that leads to a planning for the future. Before I get too deep into the rest of this, I think that what I have now with just like, for instance, what we saw will help with what I need. Give me a second. I have a leaderboard. I don't think it's as complicated. Like we talked about the challenges you faced with the leaderboard for that client.
Mhm.
And that was complicated. I don't really think this is that complicated at all. So I wanted to show, obviously I'm just experimenting. These are a hot mess, but by the type of vegetable, by the region, among friends, and I don't know what that'll be. And I think that all I need to do is create this repeating group and sort it by all users, whoever's got the greatest accumulated harvest. And that's going to handle this. And then I need to have it divided by the number of plants they have.
So what I'd be worried about here is if you have a search in each cell. Like if it's not referencing a specific thing in the database, like one main search, and then you're just using that as your reference point for all of those cells.
Say that again.
So like when you go to, yeah, so current user's name and the total, you're searching for my harvest filtered. And then you're sorting by accumulated
I haven't
harvest.
got this far yet.
Okay, got it.
I don't have enough sample data to even test this, but I thought before I started getting, again, too deep into it, I'd ask.
The thing that you want is with your leaderboard, if you can have your whole repeating group in one, first of all.
Yeah.
But it looks like you're going to need some nested repeating groups, but cutting down on the number of searches that need to happen in order to get your totals, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you can get everything you need with 4 searches by column there, then okay, it might be a little bit heavy of a lift on the page, but it shouldn't be bad. But if you have to do any searching inside the cells, that's going to be crazy and slow down your app.
So it's better to think more about nested repeating groups so that it's the one big search, and then just as these are clicked or whatever, it displays the.
Well, it doesn't even look like nested repeating groups. This just looks like 4 repeating groups.
This is just 4 repeating groups.
Yeah. So, and as long as you don't have to do a search inside the cells of those repeating groups, then you should be good.
There won't be any search. It'll just be the display.
Then you should be fine.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When you were dealing with your challenging leaderboard, what was the challenges that you were facing?
The challenge I was facing was I wanted to calculate the results of different matches, and I was going to have to do a bunch of searches in each. It's like for each cell, I was going to have to do like 4 or 5 searches to get the numbers that I was looking for, the way that the database had been constructed prior to me arriving. So what I did, instead of trying to go back and rethink the database, I added a specific data type called the tally. And I went and I sorted through all of the existing information. The most challenging part of the leaderboard wasn't the leaderboard itself. It was the workflows to get the existing data for 1,200 users, to populate. So I basically just made a data type where each of the fields here, I'll try to do some show and tell as I'm talking about it. So I made a tally data type. So we had match, and then the match had players of type user list, and then I had one which was of type user, and then one date or whatever. I guess I didn't need that one. So we have this information, so I know who won and lost because it was only 2 players, right? And then for the tally, I wanted to know how many someone had won. So user of type user, or I usually call this the owner field, owner of type user. And then for all of their matches, I wanted to know one of type match last 7, right?
Yeah.
And so every time they won one, I would add it to this list, right? And then I would schedule a workflow for 7 days later to remove it from this list. And then I did the same one last month, and that was the same thing. One this year. And one all time. And so, and it was a bit more complicated because I also wanted to know the total number of matches. as well. And so I was adding them to the list, and I would schedule the workflow to take them off of the list for each of for these three. And then this one, I would just add it to the list and I didn't have to take it off the list. So when I did my repeating group, I did the repeating group tally, and then for each tally, depending on the filters that were selected by the user, I would show the number of items in these lists. And then I did a little bit of math for the points. But that way it was just one search for tallies instead of searching for users and doing a search for all of their matches that were within the last 7 days. And then because that would have been like, to get those numbers, I would have had to do like 4 searches per row. And that's multiply that by 1,200 rows because they had 1,200 users at the time.
Wow, a
Yeah.
lot.
So like that wasn't going to work. Like there was no way. I didn't even try it because I already knew it wasn't going to work. So that's what the challenge was.
And in that in the ultimate guide to bubble performance, I think that he said something about how that searches, of course, as we know, happen in the database, but filtering happens on the page, and we should try to be using filters more to keep it faster.
Actually, I think constraints make things faster because constraints keep the information from having to be transferred back from the server to the browser, and then filters are operating on the browser. So the more you can reduce the information having to be found and transferred back to the browser, the faster things will go.
So more constraints is better in your search.
Yeah, you want to constrain the search as much as possible. One of the ways to do that without even constraining the search, like in constraints, is with privacy rules. So like if you know that your user shouldn't be able to see any other user information, just by having that privacy rule, you will prevent that from being like searched and returned from Bubble server to the browser. But then the constraints themselves also help with that.
Okay.
We love this book, by the way, anybody who happens to be watching.
I still need to read it.
Juan is reading this right now. He was just summarizing what he's read recently from it. So
It scares me though, because I feel like I'm going to read it and then have to completely refactor my app again.
well, nah. I mean,
Probably.
why should that scare you? You've been refactoring it as long as I've known you.
I've done mine 4 times.
Usually that's just a saying, but it's actually true, isn't it?
It is true. like it shouldn't scare you to have to refactor your app. It's kind of your thing. So,
Can I just validate a constraint with you very quickly?
sure, I will stop sharing.
I've said obviously trending posts, engagement score, just saying that's fine. It's this one here. So obviously I only want to show posts that we get in the last 24 hours. So it's created date is less than current date time plus 1 day.
No. Created date is greater than current date and time minus 1 day.
That's greater than, right?
Right, because you want to show things that are less than 24 hours old. So created date is greater than current date and time minus 1.
If that symbol was less than, would that be correct as well?
No, that needs to be greater than.
But it is greater than. Okay, cool.
No, it is
Right,
not. It's less than. Right now it says
It
less
is.
than.
Oh, good. Sorry, I thought I got it wrong. At least I got it right, but got the expression wrong. So I always get those the wrong way around. Cool.
Yep, and then it should be minus 1.
A plus days or
Because all of your posts will be less than, created day would be less than 1 day from now.
so I just do minus.
Yep, just put a minus sign. There you go.
Of course, that will only show posts in the last day. So theoretically, if I open my app now, nothing should appear.
You haven't been posting enough on OneLife.
I haven't.
So I have a theoretical question if no one else needs to have needs help.
Sure.
So the only thing really holding me up between getting this out to beta users is I need to populate the database. That'll help people add plants much more easily. They don't have to put in all the extra details, like how tall it is.
Mhm.
So I found a really awesome service called Parse Hub, and I turned my VA loose on it. It's got a lot of support, you know, it's just, and I tried it myself. It was very easy and it was kind of fun. So I was excited until I realized how much it costs. $150 a month. So, I mean, that's not really, I mean, I don't mind paying for a month of it and bulking up my database, which is what I plan to do. But I also would like to later, in a later phase, I want people to be able to create their wish list, which they can do now. But then I want to be able to have Garden Brain tell them the least amount of vendors that they can buy them from. So I want Garden Brain to search vendors, prices, and shipping, because shipping is the problem. They all charge huge amounts of shipping. So
you want FellSwoop's algorithm. You should talk to Lise.
yeah, I probably ought to. Yeah, except that I've got the additional problem of most of the vendors are not going to be Amazon type vendors. They're little teeny companies. So I can grab that stuff by parsing it off a PDF, and most of them are PDF downloads. Anyway, my actual question though is, I'm going to have my VA go ahead and use the hell out of Parse Hub for the whole month, and that'll get me started. But later, I'm wondering if it might be worth hiring someone who writes web scrapers to write one for me.
Yeah.
Anyone ever done that? And I'm not sure how that would connect to Bubble and what that would look like on the user side, because my VA has to be the one to interact with it. And later my APIs.
No, so that I've never hired anybody to write a like web scraping script or anything for me before. The closest I've gotten is I've had Kim do data entry for me a lot in the past, which is not the same thing. So, but yeah, ostensibly you could go and on a platform like Upwork or wherever and find somebody who would be willing to do that for you.
Yeah, I found some people. I'm just trying to think whether it would be more, you know, economical and sensible to do that way, or, I mean, I don't have to worry about it yet. I can wait till.
I mean, the most efficient way is if you can find an API that is reasonably priced that
None
you
of
can
them
tap
are.
into. So like if you can't do that, then you're going to have to do either like what you're talking about, parsing their PDF like brochures or whatever, or doing web scraping in order to get that pricing. And then when it comes to processing that data for like what you're looking at doing, then definitely talk to Lise, because that is, I just yesterday working with Lise figured out the whole point of FellSwoop. I thought I understood what she was doing, and I was kind of like, well, that's interesting. But now I really like, now that I get what she's doing, and she's like, she's not showing people multiple options for each of their items. She's showing them buy these items from Amazon, buy these items from Target, and buy these items from Walmart out of your
Yeah,
whole
it's
list.
exactly the same idea. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the best combination pricing based on like what I know about you. So, and she had the mathematician write the algorithm and all of that. So we were just starting to like hook up her API calls to the algorithm that she had written.
So she had a mathematician write the algorithm. Wow. So why
And
was
create
that?
an API for it. Yeah. Right.
I mean, like, you know about my problems with math. But why did she need that instead of writing an expression? Like, why did she need a mathematician for that?
Okay, because it's processing, so it's taking into account a bunch of different things. It's taking the whole shopping list, and then it's looking at the 3 least expensive options from the APIs that she's querying for each item. So if the 3 lowest options all come from Amazon, then that's what it is. Out of the 15, the last time we worked on her app on office hours, I think she was getting results of 15, 5 for each of the store's APIs that she was querying. So she's looking at 15 results per item, narrowing it down to the 3 least expensive. And then from there, sending that information into the algorithm. The algorithm is taking into account whether they have any special pricing due to memberships, what the minimum shipping cost would be to get minimum pricing or totals would be to get free shipping, right? If they aren't Prime, for instance, and like figuring out the best combination. And maybe you could do that in Bubble, but it sounds like a nightmare to me.
Well,
she's
yeah.
got the script to run on all of that information, and it'll just spit out the answer for her.
How did she integrate the mathematician's work into the rest of her flow?
I think it was a he, and I think he created an API. So she's just tapping into the API with the token.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have to ask her about that when I get to that. I'm not
No,
there.
it's very, very cool. Lise, we miss you. She's working very hard. She found a really good contract work thing. So she's been very busy with that. But yeah, she's doing well. It was good to see her yesterday. Speaking of good to seeing people, it's good to see you, Jordan.
Hey, how are you?
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I just have one question.
Yes.
I was trying to put a reusable element inside another reusable element so that I could display the pop-up that was in the second reusable element. But it's not working on the workflow. And I
Okay.
can't work out why. And then I was wondering, maybe it's a limitation that you can't put a reusable element in a reusable element. And
Nope,
trigger.
we do it all the time. Is the workflow you're trying to trigger, is that a custom event on
Yeah.
the second reusable?
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you share your screen?
Can you see that?
Yep, I can. So show me the second reusable and show me the workflow that you're trying to trigger.
Okay, so basically this is an activity and this is the main pop-up. And if I click that and then push save, I want to trigger a pop-up to create a task. So I've got a hidden pop-up here, which has got the task reusable element in there. And then inside there, I've got the pop-up task, which is here. And then I've got a workflow set, create edit thing, which shows the pop-up task.
Okay, so the menu focused task is the second reusable that you have inside of the first reusable.
Yeah.
Okay, show me where it is inside of the first reusable.
It was just in that pop-up. Just here.
Yeah, but that's not in the first reusable. That's in, right?
Well, it is because the first reusable here is menu focus activity.
Okay.
Because that's
But-
how I just copied this off how Thing do it. You know, they call it pop-up hidden and then they store all their variables in there.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing on the, and it's been working like on the homepage and stuff.
Okay, but the first reusable is which one? Is
It's there. So when I go to the actual page,
it might be because it's hidden. You might just have to make it like 1 pixel and invisible and actually have it like on the reusable. Sometimes I'm not as clear as like when elements have to be visible in order to be usable.
yeah. Okay, so this is the page that the first reusable is on. So if I go to profile, there's a pop-up, a hidden pop-up here,
Mhm.
which has got the hidden reusable element. Where is it?
And you don't have any trouble accessing the custom events from those reusables?
No.
Okay. But that's on the page, not in the reusable itself.
Where is the? Hang on. This is on the page. So, oh, there's menu service activity. Oh, yeah, okay, so that's it there. So when I trigger, when I go down here and push this button, that triggers the custom.
Workflow that's from that, but you're
Yeah.
talking about having a hidden variables pop-up within a reusable
Yeah,
and trying to
trigger that.
nest a reusable in there. And that
Yeah.
seems to be causing a problem when you're trying to access it.
So where should I put that?
So why not just drag it onto the reusable itself and just make it little so that you can't
That
see
makes
it?
my thing like all weird.
Well, just drag it off out of the
Yeah,
area.
because that's as big as it is.
Okay, but make it tiny. And then just stick it up in the, make it 0, 0, like where it is on the reusable. Is there such thing?
Okay, well, let's just try that. So does it need a data source? I will like. No.
No, I don't think so. It depends on what you're doing with it. It might need a data source, but just make it super little.
So pop-up activity. So this is it here. Trigger create a task only when checkbox yes no is yes. So when that does that, it's supposed to create a task. It creates a task, so it does that. It displays data. It does that, but it doesn't do that.
Oh, got it. So like you've been able to find it. It's just not working for whatever
Just the
reason.
pop-up doesn't come up. That's the only thing. See, if I go here, I'll show you. So here's the task down here. Okay. So when it creates a new one, it puts a love heart next to it. So if I go boom, create a new call, and then I want to create a task,
And you're
okay,
supposed to
save.
get the pop-up to create a new
It
task.
creates the task, which is fine, but it doesn't trigger the pop-up.
Okay, so go to the second reusable that's supposed to trigger the pop-up. And the create edit a thing, show pop-up task. And then what does the display data say? Current workflow task, which should be the one that was just,
Pass through, yeah.
and then click the create edit thing there. So it's type of thing task. All right, and we didn't have, but you are sending the task in through there.
Yeah, it's weird. I think I've done everything right, but it's just not working. And like if I go over here, like it's working because I can edit here. It's the same thing. So that's the workflow that it's supposed to show.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And you have to do that from the create new task. You like it has to be what's the reasoning behind having the reusable within the reusable for that?
I was just because I didn't know how else to trigger the
Okay.
pop-up. Is there another way to do it?
No.
Maybe I could do it with custom states, eh? Or
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, that's the beauty and also the danger of bubbles. You can do things multiple different ways. Let me see. Hang on. So which page are you on?
right now I'm on
Profile?
profile. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pop in your app. You'll stop sharing, I'll start sharing.
Alright.
Maybe I'll see it if I'm driving. It's worth a shot. Okay, so I'm in the profile page and the first one is menu focused activity. Wait, so we have group call. Where's the first repeating, like reusable element? What's it called?
Menu focus activity.
Okay, so that's here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
So that's all working.
that's here and that's showing a pop-up activity, or which
Yeah.
one is the pop-up here? This one? And
Pop-up
then
activity. Yeah, and then I'm
when this is checked,
yeah,
so
And
when
we
you
wanna-
create the save here,
yeah.
I pop up, reset, clear, reset, trigger. Oh, I see what's happening. You have to trigger the stuff before you reset the stuff.
I do it.
Yeah, so you have to trigger all of these things before you reset everything, because when you reset the relevant inputs here, it's clearing out that checkbox task thing.
Ah, true.
So
So just move them along then, eh?
yep, you share your screen again.
All right.
I don't know why I see it better when I'm moving the mouse.
So menu focus activity.
So just drag the triggers in front of all of the reset stuff. and then try it again and see if it works this time.
Trigger, and then so trigger create task. I'll just check this one. Trigger. Ah, there we go.
There you go.
Look. There we are.
There you go.
Awesome. Such a little mistake, eh?
Yep. I just Bubble is so literal, which is good and bad at the same time. It's like,
Yeah.
read my mind, Bubble.
So I could probably put this back in the pop-up then, eh?
Yes, you can.
Just to keep it tidy.
Yep.
So this weekend I'm gonna have to go through and clear out all my issues.
Okay. It's always my homework for you, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, Jordan, clean up your issues. But how good is it you can clean up all your issues in one weekend?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to take me decades. Does anybody else have any questions? Anything to work on today? Any build along requests? I did not get any farther along in backend list, Thomas. So gonna have to wait on that, but
Yeah, I'll be keen to look at that once someone's done it properly.
yes, yeah, me too. I can't wait to get through it. I've got my first call on it on Wednesday, so that should be fun.
Yeah,
Hey,
what?
Thomas.
Was it? What are you doing? A call?
Oh yeah, I have a client app that we're going to be using backend list instead of Bubbles database. So,
Oh, okay, sweet.
so I haven't quite started learning everything that I need to know for that, but it's coming. So,
Oh, awesome.
hey, Thomas.
Hola.
Any build along requests that aren't backend list?
Do you want to build upon the messenger?
Sure, let's do it. Do we want to build upon yours since yours is more advanced?
Sure.
Or no, you want to keep it in the sandbox?
I don't know if you wanted to use it as a reference later. I definitely don't mind having you on mine, of course.
Okay. Yeah, so we could use it as a reference. Sure, it's not a problem. So I'll go back into here. I'll share the screen. So for those who are watching the replay and didn't see previous episodes of Thomas and me working on this, we've tried to recreate Facebook's messenger experience on the page, on the feed page. And so what we've done is, where's my chat page? So I think mine is still old, right?
Everything is still the same. If that's what
It's
you're
still the
asking.
same. Yeah. So it's
That because I didn't know whether or not you were convinced about the change you wanted to make.
oh yeah, no, I'm convinced about it. So what I guess we need to do is convert the chat reusable.
Yeah, I just put in a repeating group. But you said that you didn't want you said it was overkill to do that though. Would you mean
Well,
by
no. So no, it's not overkill to do that. It was overkill. It was potentially overkill to take the group chat and group thread and make this into its own reusable. Does that make sense?
if you could repeat yourself once more?
So if my understanding is you left this as a reusable and then you created a new reusable that was the repeating group, and you put this in as a reusable in the cell in the repeating group.
No,
And
what I did was, wait, were you asking what I was doing?
Yeah.
What I did was I just expanded the page here, threw in a repeating group, and then I put this group element here containing all the information inside the repeating group.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I was going to suggest doing.
Because that's what you suggested.
Yeah.
So I kept
exactly.
in one place.
So copy with workflows. And hopefully that copied everything. And then I'm so scared. I'm going to make a save point. When in doubt, make a save point before I F it up. All right. And then
Reusables and reusables, you can't communicate with a custom state, a reusable's custom states from another reusable, right? Not natively?
only if they have the if the reusable is in the reusable.
Right, yeah, it has to be nested in order for them to be connected. Gotcha.
Yeah. So how wide should I make this? I forget what my page like should have been.
Here, let me get in there. Yeah. I can't hear you typing in the background, so I don't know if you like accidentally were
Oh,
left on.
I didn't hear you. Did you tell me how wide I should make it or no?
Yeah, no, give me 1 second. I'm still waiting for this to load. Yeah, 960
960. Okay.
and 450 height. Doesn't really make a difference, but
450.
yeah.
Was that including the bottom piece?
What of the? Oh, you're talking about that group that would collapse.
Yeah. There you go. And then
Did you add that on the reusable? Yeah.
I did. Because that was where we left off. We were trying to make it so that you could minimize, right?
Mhm.
So we'll do a repeating group. This way.
In the case that I wanted to make this a mobily responsive, for example, I wouldn't use a floating group. Would I just use a group to display content? Trying to think of how it would work, because Juan said that last time that once you collapse the page, the floating group shrinks. I was trying to think about how to approach that
I think you would change the data source
of the repeating group.
of the repeating group to like when the page is a certain with either the data source. Yeah. So I don't think you could do that in the responsive settings, but you could do it in the conditionals. So when page width is less than a certain amount, you would change the data source to only go up to the first item instead of up to 3. Because you'd
Gotcha.
only want it to show 1.
And I would not be using the floating group, right?
You'd still use the floating group.
Yeah, well, I guess because it's only one element.
Yeah,
It's not like 3. Yeah,
exactly.
gotcha.
So repeating group, we want the rows to be 1 and the columns to be 3. And what I want to do is I want to paste with workflows. I want to center. That's like that didn't work. There we go. No, it did all of the elements instead of the main element. Wasn't quite what I wanted.
With the setup that we have here, what worries do I have to have? Because I remember Juan in the last conversation was saying, like, once you get to 100 messages, theoretically you would get to 100 messages, but it only displays number 98. Should I be worried in the case that too many conversations are being had and too many messages are being exchanged? Or
Yeah, so I think it's like more like, so if we use the example of Facebook Messenger, I have no idea which one that will be. Let's try this. We'll go to Facebook instead. Be safer. Messenger. So we go to my messages with Calum. There we go. So I can scroll up and it keeps loading more, but you see how I get to that like little thinking thing, right? So it's only loading so many on the page, and then I have to request that it load more. And it's not that many, it's not even 100, right? Just like if I refresh this, it's just like a page or 2. Like if I scroll up, see, like here's where it started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So yeah. So yeah, it's not that many
so
that it's
continue.
showing.
So the more you scroll up or go up the thread, it just keeps loading whatever is
Right.
there.
And if you're doing, I think extended scroll works with reverse repeating group. So like if you're just showing the last 20 messages, that should be fine. Hang on, I have to text Calum real fast. Sorry, I just showed something on screen I shouldn't have, so I'm having Calum change the password. Okay, so yeah, so you would want to only search for maybe the last 25 messages, so items until 25. And then as you scroll up, you can add to that, right?
Yeah.
Like it would be something like when, when cell 25 becomes visible or something like that. Like I'm not entirely sure of the logic. Then you would like, if it's extended scroll is working fine, then you don't need to do that. You can just, it'll like, if extended scrolling will work, then you don't even have to limit it. It should be fine because it should, load however many messages will show. And then as you scroll up, it will load more and load more. But if you're trying to do that manually, if you're trying to like force it to not load so many and to just kind of piecemeal it like 10 messages at a time or something like that, then you would basically change the data source to increase the items until.
That number.
Does that make sense? Because like, so here, if you look at this, at the floating group here, in my repeating group, I have just items until 3. So it would be like that. You just do items until 25 in the messages itself. And then
Gotcha.
on the conditional, like
Once it reaches
here,
5.
yeah, exactly. Or you can do it in a workflow, like when, when you get to a certain place, change the data source and make this number different.
Gotcha.
So,
Cool.
yep. All right. So from the reusable, here we are. So now I need to take this logic actually. This will be chat reusables, threads, items until 3. And then on this page here, oh, that's right. I don't have it on the page. That's what we're doing now. So here, take this repeating group.
Can't you just do a simple hide and show when minimize button is done? I guess not. If you just collapse the groups.
Yeah, what, I don't understand the question though.
When you press the minimize button, the subtract icon,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to get the group to collapse downward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it would collapse downward, but you can put those two, I guess in the reusable, put the bottom group and then the top repeating group.
We're just gonna hide it and not have it collapse, and then this will show.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Yep.
figured.
Yep. And then it won't, like, because this is hidden and the background is transparent, it will appear as if it like went off the page downward, but yeah. Yes, you're right. All right, so thread, chat, reusable. So now on my other page here, I should have access to that. So chat reusables threads. right, and then the reusable itself. Now we can put these icons. You want to do the icons part?
Absolutely.
Cool. I'm going to start promoting Eli's appearance.
Cool.
In the groups and on Twitter.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I have to start promoting it because it's happening this Friday.
Yeah.
Start getting people like excited.
So are we fixed on, you said you wanted to talk to him about one of his plugins. Is it a topic of conversation? Is there?
Yeah, so Lise, yesterday we came up with a good question to ask him about setting up this API that she had the mathematician do. But in
Cool.
terms of the build along, I'm still like, I'm not sure what to ask for. We'll brainstorm on the fly, maybe. What was that?
Yeah, because I was trying to think, I was like, maybe what I think is complex really isn't complex at all.
It's
Don't want to
possible. It's
guess.
totally possible. I want him to, so I have some, like, I have lots of questions, like things that I want him to like go into that are kind of advanced. That should be fun.
Yeah.
To learn. And then if you could make one on this parent groups thread thing
Sure.
to
What is it?
expand it.
An expansion? Okay.
Yeah. Then here.
I want to ask him about the API connector, but I still haven't taken a look at the video, so maybe I should probably watch the video first.
Reusables, thread. Reusables, threads.
Trying to find. Wait, what? Oh, the thread to expand.
Right. Let me know when you're done.
Yep, I'm done.
Oop, I didn't put the reverse repeating group in there. Let's fix that real fast.
I couldn't tell whether you put that on the reusable page or inside the repeating group. Did you?
Kind of half and half. It's not inside the repeating group, I don't think.
Oh, okay, okay, gotcha.
And then okay, I think that's right.
Did you end up going to the no code event?
No, I didn't, and neither did Eli, so I'm really glad I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't, yeah. So Eli ended up not going, so
Backend list was a topic there.
yeah, I know he was really sad because he wanted to do that, but so there's something when I click here, I'm like taking it off instead of adding it to. So here on this one, create, set dates. Put plus first read items here. Yes, this is sort of chat reusable. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Okay. I love this, Thomas. This is so cool.
What the
I love our chat, like our
Yeah.
like messenger recreation here.
yeah, when I recreated it myself, I was like drinking a cup of coffee. I don't know if it was like Saturday morning or Sunday. I was just admiring the design. I was like, this is
You're like, this is awesome.
I like it. I was happy about it. Just happy all day about it.
And inspired by, but also our own thing. Like,
Right.
no, it's still doing the wrong thing. All right, back to the drawing board. What are we doing
You get
here?
filtered, I think. No.
Chat
No.
reusables, thread, chat. Reusables, threads, minus item, chat, reusable. Threads, last item, no, first item. Just a little bit of debugging because we moved it. There we go. Yes, and let's try this.
Oh, yeah, that's just responsive.
But that's good.
Yeah.
It's essentially doing what we want. It's just it's moving everything up.
It almost looks like it's going down too.
Yeah, it's this might be one of those crazy times where I break my rule again. You like to break my note, don't stack elements on top of each other rule.
Yeah.
You challenge me on that one particular
Yeah.
aspect over and over and over again. All right, so we'll just move this.
I see what you're doing here.
So it's like basically,
Right there.
I think it's like right
I
there.
did do it the other day. I was like, Tonya would not like this, but don't fix what's not broken, right?
So we'll just move this to 450, I guess. And then reusable. Okay. And self. Okay. And then what are we going to do? We're going to go on the page itself and make sure that chat reusable here. Well, let's just see how it looks. Oh, it's a little cut off. Hang on. I don't know why that makes a difference, but we'll see.
Was it that was cut off, or was it that it's the that collapse box is either in front or behind? Probably in front. Should probably put it behind.
Like that.
Yeah, I just don't know what. I'm trying to think because you didn't really.
Do I need a buffer there or no? I don't know. Yeah, let's have a little bit and then. Nope.
I wonder why. I mean, I'm pretty sure that element's hidden, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not
I don't
sure.
collapse its height when it's hidden, but I don't collapse this height when it's hidden because I don't want it to go up. Right. So if I do this, I mean, that's nice.
You know what? I think it might just be the placement of the floating group on the actual page.
Oh, got it.
It might not actually be.
Tall enough.
Yeah. No, it might not just be like stuck to the bottom. I think there's a little space in between the bottom of the page and then
And the
actual.
floating group.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day. Didn't know why I didn't stick to the bottom. Floating group is the same.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be
No.
the issue here. And when I did make this taller, it seemed to accommodate it better.
Maybe expand the. Maybe you actually have to expand the reusable element. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
So here, if I refresh.
That looks like it works perfect. Oof. I see.
So I just need to move that down. I don't know why they should be. Maybe I just need to group them together.
Yeah, makes sense. Make that.
All right, let's see. Yeah, that's working. And then if we want it down lower, then we just need to move
that
this
space.
down lower. Group chat, then I want select first parent. Nope. Oh, it's because my debugger is in the way. And take my debugger off. Nope.
Yeah, it's
Why you gotta be tricky?
maybe it was, yeah.
That
Maybe
gives me too much. Maybe I just need to put a collapsing group here.
Maybe small, try making the repeating group smaller and then the page smaller.
That's what I did the first time.
Yeah, but you did something, you changed something there a second ago. Oh, you grouped it. So see how it works? Because you grouped it, I think it'll have a different effect.
So there's no space here.
Isn't that working?
So maybe I just need to delete it off of the floating group here, the reusable, and just replace it. So let's go back down here. Because maybe it's like we keep resizing it, but it keeps its original size. Floating group A. Should be able to resize floating group A. What's in floating group A that's preventing me from resizing
I think
it?
it might be the orchestra.
Oh, this maestro thing. Yeah, let's get rid of that for sure. Okay, so well, now I broke it all together.
It might just be not in the group all the way at the bottom.
Chat reusable. Is it inside the floating group? Floating group.
You set the floating group to the bottom? Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And it's within the page.
Was the floating group hidden originally on the index or the?
No, you can't hide. Oh, well, I guess you can hide a floating group, but,
Oh, it was like not visible or visible. Yeah.
but it's visible on page load. And then chat reusable. We're 40, and then my chat reusable. So if I go to the floating group, and a little bit taller. There, that's what it was. It wasn't fully in there. My floating group needs to be 440. I broke it.
It's not working. Yeah. We could take a look at this later.
Yeah, we can fix it.
Yeah.
But I think we like achieved the functionality that we were going for the other day.
For
So
sure.
that's good. Awesome. Well, are there any other questions before we call it a day?
Nope. I'm good.
Need anything, Nathan or Jay? They're busy working. They have us on in the background. All right. Well, I would big shout out to everyone who showed up today. We had Calum and Jay and Thomas and Nathan and Jordan and Sander. I think that's it. We had 6 people today, in addition to myself and Kim. So thank you everyone for being here. We're going to be back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific time for another round of office hours. If you would like to join us for a complimentary session, please join CoCreative NoCode's Facebook group and then tag Kim in the comments of one of the lives, and she will send you a link to join us for your complimentary session. If you want to save that complimentary session for Friday, we have a special guest on Friday the 13th. Eli Beachy is going to join us and do office hours with us. Well, the first hour will be a Q&A. I have lots of advanced questions to ask him. If you're not familiar with Eli, let me show you how awesome he is. He's on Twitter and I follow him, and he's like the one person on Twitter when they post something, I'm like, I have to check it out because he posts amazing tutorials talking about all the like new stuff that Bubble is releasing and what it means. Like most recently, we had like format as JSON. So yep. So here's like he gives you the editor and the preview page, and he does the videos, and this video here that he's promoting here. All of this is amazing stuff. Whenever I have a question that I need answered in Bubble, I take it to Eli after Juan. Juan's first, and if Juan doesn't know the answer, I go to Eli. So, and the same for Juan. He goes to Eli too. So if you would like to join us on Friday for that very special appearance of Eli Beachy on CoCreative NoCode's FaceTime, no, office hours, that's the word I was looking for. Go ahead and tag Kim in the live, and she will send you the link and put you on the list for Friday. We have room for up to 100 people, so don't be shy. Thank you again, everybody, for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye.